Danny, I just figured out that if I switch to Metro PCS, I get 2 Samsung Galaxy phones free.
Cool, Dad.
And I could be a super dad with 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones and call myself Double Galaxy Man.
Or you could give the second phone to your sidekick.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
That's right. 2 free Samsung Galaxy On 5 smartphones are all yours when you switch to Metro PCS. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
All right, thank you so much for joining. Hold on. Thank you so much for joining us for part 1 of our interview with Jermaine Greaves, Not Like the Other Kids. This is part 2. We're going to pick up where we left off. So, Jermaine, continue on.
Okay, so in part 1, I discussed towards the end an issue that I had growing up, which was being called an Oreo. At summer camp at like 14 and 15. And that to me, and I also discussed school. So like that situation to me showed me that like I was not like the other kids in a different way. But I learned like from then, like I had to work 10 times as hard as my other social as my white counterparts because I was considered an Oreo, So I was 11 years old when I heard this. So when I heard this, I didn't know exactly what to make of it. Also, growing up, I had, like I said, I mentioned going to this school called Brooklyn Collegiate. And going to that school, I didn't necessarily like it, and it didn't move me, but I was there. It was an experience. But my turning point was, I would say, going to Edward R. Murrow and then, seeing my friends who were creatives at the time, rappers, singers, writers, artists, and just seeing them enjoy the time of their lives. Joey Badass, Dime a Dozen, just artists who are now, like, out there and on the come up. Like, they went to my school when I was there, and I watched them kind of come into their own. Like, Joey had braces. But anyways, I went to Edward R. Murrow for high school. It was a really creative time for me. I think that was when I realized, like, I have a voice, and I have an impact. And then going to college was fun. But I think when I started promoting, like, in 2011 and 2012, and, like, just going to parties as a visitor, I realized I have a window here that not everybody else has. I'm unique. I have a style, and I know who I really am. So it just kind of resonated. Did I have to go through some bumps in the road to get respect in the industry? Definitely. My first couple of shows, I lost money. I cried several times. And, I think for me, when I do an event, I would hope and pray that people are listening to me, but sometimes that is not always the case. I find that everybody is like, oh, they want this, they want that, but you have to understand that as a planner, you have to give me something so I can do my full work. People criticize planners for being a certain way, but we are literally on a time structure when somebody hits us up and tells us they want to plan something. It's not on your time, it's on my time because you're allowing me to come into your environment and organize with you. So, I've had some people, in the past that have, like, said, oh, let's plan something. And they would completely renege and pull out, and it would be a big thing. And then I would do contracts saying I need half a deposit because when I started planning, I did it for free, like for at least 2 years. But because I was just annoyed and tired of everything, I just started making agreements, contracts, and stuff like that. Because it was time. And, I just could no longer sit there and be a victim of foolishness. So it was just time.
Yeah.
So that was definitely my experience. I think as people, and I have to thank my mom. Also, I didn't even mention her, but I'm going to mention her now. My mom, in a way, she kind of started me off in the event planning industry. I will, how and why was because she showed me different experiences from young. I went to the museum. I was able to travel. I was able to see, like, different countries.
Yeah.
things like that. And seeing that maybe sparked my interest in a way, maybe not outright, but going to different events, experiencing different curations, and seeing other promoters do it, I just felt like I had to do it too. Now, I would say like nowadays, I don't plan as much as I used to. I am more on the managerial side a bit because, when you work on it with an individual artist who kind of knows what they want to do, then you're going to win as the manager too, And it's been a spiritual experience for me being a manager. I remember the biggest thing I ever did. I did Afro-Punk Battle of the Bands in 2015 with a group called Vagabond Radio. I promoted the...
So are you still working with them now?
Sorry. That's loud as hell. Okay, thank you. No, but, okay, so like I was saying, sorry. What basically happened was, I just kind of had to, as a manager, one of my biggest accomplishments, and I will say this, was being able to put artists onto the Brooklyn Music Festival, as well as like being able to, some artists, not all of them, but some of them were from my fan base and crowd, and they promoted because they knew me. You kind of learn like, oh, people really respect you. Not everyone's going to like you, but there are going to be a few that will respect what you're doing, and if they see it, they'll show respect as well.
Mhm.
And also, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, I'm thinking about what you were talking about earlier, and, I'm just thinking about a lot of youth, not to take it too far back, but a lot of youth experience racism, and they don't have the vocabulary for how to express what they've experienced, and they're not aware of what it is exactly sometimes. Like, it feels like it's like wrong or it's off, but, it is racism or some form of prejudice oftentimes. And a lot of times people will think that it's them. You'll start to think that something's wrong with you. And, I know you said, like, it meant you have to work harder, but more than working harder, it also meant realizing that you were not less than or worth less. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's also coming to that point where you realize, like, I've been taught to think that I'm worth less in this society, and that you have to remember that, first of all, for you to be here, that means that your ancestors were able to survive some really crazy oppression and stuff that's happened over the years. So the fact that you're even here is amazing in itself. Like, when you talked about, being a premature baby, cerebral palsy, like, a lot of people don't make it. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, a lot of people don't
Thank you so much. I mean, for me, it's been. You have to realize like what you're able to do. I don't think people, there are people who are not going to make it, and that's okay too. But if you are able to make it, again, like I said before, be of an impact. Be able to motivate somebody today, because you don't know what people are going through. And I just laid out my entire backstory, like with everything. Also,
I'm
I was
sure more.
Yeah, and also like I was verbally, abused by people, and it hurt me for a while, but I know for a fact that I could grow and be better, and that was the goal. Like, it's not going to be easy, but, I had, like I mentioned, I started out events, and I was losing money and just going through things, and, there's some issues still now, but, what keeps me going? Knowing that people like you and others are motivated by me pushing myself, even if it's not always easy. People see that, and they know that they can do it too. So it's the best feeling in the world, and it's the most organic and gratifying feeling in the world, to be on this journey of living life and figuring out what is my purpose.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's so interesting, because when you think about it, like, you might have, like a physical disability, but there are disabilities that are not seen. Like, for example, I have a condition, it's a form of vasculitis. And
wow.
And so it's like, that's what Bernie Mac had, and I think it like might run in my like family, but I was diagnosed with vasculitis. So I was using that as an excuse for why I couldn't get things done. And I realized that at one point, like, I could really be getting more done, but I'm, like, using this as an excuse for why I can't. And what I appreciate about you is that, like, you're not using your disability as an excuse. And while we might not say it's an excuse, we might not say, like, I can't do this because of this.
You know, you have to, this is my thing. You have to choose to accept what you are and live with it with the best joy in the world. That's my thing. Mm-hmm. You have to accept what you are, know that you're going to have to do some things, that it's going to take you longer, but you're going to get it done anyways. And, you know, you're going to have those moments. And you're going to feel stressed out, and you are going to feel like nobody's listening to you because they think you're incapable. It happens. But I believe that once you know where you stand, you're never going to feel uncomfortable or weird or awkward or even strange place in the world. And even if people don't get it or don't like you, they don't have to like you. Again, I like me enough to know what I'm capable of. So it's important to know that everything that you're capable of is what's needed. You know, motivate yourself, you know. And also, guys, if you ever need advice or anything or just, you know, you can also hit me up on Instagram at LoveLife45. My website, which is a draft website for now, but it's www.trippyandkyc.com. Also, Twitter, Jermaine, SAY, whatever, you know, to plan events, to just get advice, whatever the case may be. I'm going to be that. My goal in life is not just to be somebody who parties a lot. I want to be impactful. I want to make sense. I want to be a change agent. You can't be a change agent by just saying you want to be a change agent. We have a lot of people who say they want to be a change agent, but they're not changing anything except their clothes. You know, and it's just much deeper than that. You have to, you know, this whole melanin movement, where you melanin about 17 years ago, don't do it because it's trending. Do it because it's your purpose. Like, when everything becomes a trend, we lose a sense of what the purpose of it is. Mm-hmm. Do it because it's a purpose. We can follow everything. Okay, and I guess I can mention this. On the topic of Donald Trump, he is not going to help black people. He's not going to help the disenfranchised. He's going to help himself. I don't think people see that because they're so fascinated with celebrity culture that they don't see that he's not going to help us. He's going to help himself. And he's already done things to help himself. Look at his cabinet. They're millionaires and billionaires. They don't care about us. It's a reflection of his wealth and his power. So I think people have to see that. This election has shown me that we are uneducated in the electoral process. And even more so, we are uneducated in what we can do as a united African-American community of different facets, whether it be American, Caribbean, or whatever. We're all the same. This whole notion of light skin, dark skin, and just things we do against ourselves, like the psychotic racism we do to ourselves, the generational curses that we have in our families where we don't help anybody that's in our family, period, because we want to hold on to whatever wealth we individually have as black people. Yes, I'm going to speak on it. Black-on-black crime is an issue, but I don't think, and just whatever we infest in our hoods is an issue. We can blame white America, but then we can't, you know? If the knowledge is power and we have libraries and books now, anything is possible, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you talked about the presidency, and when I think about the election, you know, even I don't think people understand the Electoral College or the political process, period, in a lot of ways, period. But at the same time, you know, I think that if there were maybe more of us, like you're starting to see more and more people getting into the political process, and I like that. I think that's great because I think having people who understand it from your community who can actually explain it to you and show you ways to get involved. Okay, so we are back on with Jermaine Greaves, not like the other kids. So, Jermaine, you know, we were talking about the election and politics and things of that nature. So, yeah, like, what were you saying?
I was saying that the election as a whole has been, you know, this year was a bad parody. Like, this year was an SNL skit for political elections. It was just bad, from the corny jokes to the way people kind of throw themselves under the bus, just all kinds of nonsense. So it was a really bad SNL skit. I just couldn't take this election. It was horrible from top to bottom, left to right, and side to side. I mean, you have Donald Trump as president and his wife, who is not even American. So it's kind of funny. I think she would be the first citizen of the United States. That's kind of funny to me. But in a way, if Melania can be a citizen and the first lady, anything is possible. So, hey, you know?
Yeah, when you talk about, so when you think about, like, the political scheme of things, like, what are some things that you would like to see implemented or see done?
I would like to see more young people have a voice and not just use social media. That would be nice. You know, and also protesting is cool for maybe a hot minute, but we have to put action, you know? In the 60s, they had a real action movement, you know? So it's disheartening when you kind of see people not really have that action movement. You see people kind of just saying that they're activists, but they're not really in the field, or like their social media following made them activists, you know? I guess it's the same thing as being a promoter and saying you're not really a promoter, but you want to be a promoter anyways. Or like saying you're a model, but you're not really a model. And it's disheartening, you know. You can't do this once again, like I said earlier, because it's trending. It has to be something that is in your heart, it's in your mission, and it's in your purpose. So that's how I am. It has to be something.
Yeah, like, how do you think you could use your platform then to get people to be more involved? You know what I mean?
Politically, it's going to take some time. I have ideas, but it would take so much time. It would take a lot of time on a personal note to do all of that, you know?
Yeah.
But I can do it. It would take like at least 6 months to a year to put up like actual legislation, get Congress people involved, and kind of say what my purpose is. But it would take that long, you know?
Mhm.
And you got to get signatures, and you got to go through, are people going to really go for this bill? And you got to go with the higher-ups, and the higher-ups into what I'm saying. You know, the rich people are out there. So it's a lot of stuff that I have to do to be impactful, you know?
Yeah. So, like, what would you say that your crazy dream would be?
My dream would be to have an event company that is not only successful, but impactful. I want to help the homeless. I want to help the disabled. I want to help young people, you know, because I've been on my own, like, in this situation since I was 20 years old. So my entire experience has been a journey in itself. So I've had to grow in this journey by figuring out who I am. It's not easy, though, but I understand that if I don't experience, I don't have a story to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my thing. That's the truth.
Okay.
And, huh?
No, I love that, you know, you shared, like, so openly on our interview, and I hope that the people listening can, you know, look for, you know, like, the gems and the things you said, and, you know, use the information to help them grow and to...
I'm on a journey to just teach and educate and open mind. You cannot do that when you're crowded, And like I said, sometimes, and I'll say this to young, because I'm a young person too. So I know some young people are dealing with insecurity. Are they good enough? You are good enough, but you also have to have boundaries. You are worthy of somebody's respect. You are worthy of somebody's attention. You don't have to compromise who you are to be another person for someone else. You have to be authentically you. And once you're able to do that, you'll be great. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's what it should be.
Yeah.
And yes.
No, I was just thinking about, something we had talked about, and a lot of people out here, are thinking about the new year, right? Because the new year is coming, and, we had spoken about, like your diet, and you said that you were raised basically vegetarian.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was just wondering if you could, tell people a little bit about, what a vegetarian diet is like.
It's not, you can have meat, but it's not as, you can have maybe one, a specific meat that you eat often, and then everything else is greens, kale, raw foods, nuts, juicing. Juicing is big. Juicing is a very big thing. My mom juices all the time. Because, and you need to get the protein from somewhere, also, And if you are going to do, meats, they have to be vegan-style meats. I would say if you're going to do meat, pick, 2 of your favorite meats that you like and put that into your diet, but don't have it every day,
So you said, meat as a vegetarian. Because when I think vegetarian, I always think, just eggs, but no meat.
No. I mean, every vegan is different. You have to put in the protein somewhere. You can do eggs. I don't like to eat eggs, so I avoid the egg conversation altogether. I get it.
I'm not advocating for eating eggs, for eating little babies. I'm not advocating for people to eat little babies, but I'm just saying, because when I hear meat, I don't think vegetarian. I think pescatarian if you're talking about fish meat, or sea animals or sea creatures.
I mean, my mom, she's big on fish. I'm big on chicken.
I'm big. Oh no! I saw this video and the guy was like, "I love chicken." It was chicken, I don't know what it is about chicken, and then it's I have to stay away from it too, because chicken is no good. It's so full of estrogen too.
I mean, I don't have it every day. Have it in moderation. If you want to have meat, have it in moderation. Have your fast food every now and then. When I was in college and in a rush, I used to eat all kinds of shit. I'm not going to front. I wasn't vegan in college heavy. But then as I got older, I'm I need to start getting myself back in a cycle of what I was used to growing up. You become an adult and you just are in a city like New York, junk food is everywhere. So you have to be smart, you have to be impactful, you have to be wise on your food choices. You cannot eat everything. And even if you want to, it's a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
You cannot eat everything. I know everybody wants to eat everything that they see on their plate and in their whole parcel, but it's not good for you.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I go window snacking. I'll be like, no. Yeah. But we're
That's
actually...
a new term, window snacking, for real.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I call it. That's what I do.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
You're not going window shopping, you're going window snacking. Okay.
Yeah. You just go and look at the food and
Yeah, but my take on food is, I'm a lover of food. I love food. I'm not going front. I love food. And being in this environment, there was all kinds of new stuff I have never tried in my life. But I'm working towards moving away from that stuff that wasn't healthy for me because I'm sick. I'm actually sick now, and I'm like, there's a lot of different things that have been going on in the past 2 weeks that probably led me up to becoming sick, not just the food, just the pressure of everything.
Like stress and anxiety.
So I'm just like learning to like maintain. If I really cannot do something, if it's really not working, just pull away. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying, because it's like I'm motivating me too when I say all these things, because you have to realize that when you share something, it's not just for you, it's for other people to be inspired. So I want to continue to have a voice. I always had a voice. I'm just using it more now. And, you know, I want to show people that I'm not just like this fun person. You see all the pictures and I'm having so much fun, but I'm much deeper than the fun that I have, you know?
Mhm.
And I want to be able to show that to people more and more. So these things allow me to do that. On the topic of being vegan and veganism, you know, it's when you're a young person and there's so much temptation, being vegan can be challenging. Because you see your friends eating like all the Chipotle and all the fast food nastiness, and you're just like, I want it too. But like, you know, and then you kind of realize it's not good for you.
Yeah.
So I'm learning more and more what I'm capable of and what I deserve. So that's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
So
and you said that you're sick right now? Like you have a cold?
Huh?
You said that you were sick right now?
Yeah, I have like a little cold, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
It's
do you do?
green tea, echinacea. Get into my veganisms. Green tea, echinacea, honey. Honey is so good. People kind of front on honey, but honey is good for almost everything.
Yeah.
Honey is good. You know, you need to. I also say I'm in the last maybe 2 years I've been so big on meditation. That has helped me in so many ways because I don't always feel like I have to be in a rush. That's a big thing for me, meditation and reading. Reading is good. I love the library. The library is like my best friend. Catch me in a library. Besides catching me being social, catch me in a library. I love stuff like that, you know. I love museums. I'm so weird, you know. People, when they really get to know me, it's like, you're so intelligent, you're so smart. But it's my mom raised me that way. Like I said before, it's because of her that I was able to even see a lot of these amazing things growing up. And I feel like her experience allowed me to grow. Oh my God, I'm so thankful for this interview. I want to shout you out. Thank you, Tamika from Mother's Garden. This interview was pretty amazing. I shared so many things that people don't even know about me. Also, another thing you may not know is that I'm bisexual by choice, and it's been a journey to live that life too. And I've started dating. I use I'll speak on that. Dating is like a pool of bullshit at times, but it can be fun too.
Why do you say that though?
Because when you're dating, it's like people want to create a persona that's not them, and then they feel like they have to be this way because it's you. And then when they really get to know you, they either like it or they don't like it at all. And it's been cool. I've actually used Tinder. I'm honest. I've used Tinder before to meet like guys and girls and whatever, and it's been fun. It's cool. I have a good friend that I talk to still. We're cool, and we met on Tinder. Like we're good friends now.
Wow.
And we just vibe. We still talk. I mean, we're talking. We are talking. I have other people I met on like Facebook that like really, really like me. I had like this individual, which I'll remain nameless. He was like, yeah, I want to be with you. Can you like send me $1,000? I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
It was weird.
I want to be with you. Just send me your debit card information, and I'll help you get to you. Yes. Starting a business and getting trademarks and patents will help me find my way to you.
It was so weird. I've had people hit me up to like be there. Can you send me a visa? I like all kinds of shit.
Oh my God.
You have no idea.
Though? You know what you said earlier about value? Because a lot of people think that because probably of like you're being in a wheelchair, you know, that you will be more gullible or more vulnerable emotionally and more willing to. They might, be preying on you. And
yeah, that's definitely happened. I'm not going to front.
Yeah.
But I had to let that person know no. I've had like chicks from Australia like hit me up. I want you to come to like Australia. I'll like book your flight. I'm like, what? Yes, that whole notion, like like Drake talks about all the time, like girls or guys that like get paid to like get on. It is a real thing. Or like people that see you and kind of think like you're popping or relevant on the internet, and they like try to like hit you up. It's that is a real thing.
You know what's funny? I don't really think about it. Like, I stay hitting people up, like, you want to do this interview? And people, like, respond. I if they want to write on the blog, they'll be like, so strange.
It's really crazy. Like, people swear, like, they know you just from a couple clicks and, like, Instagram videos. And it's like, no, you don't. That's why I think social media is a gift and a curse, because we have people now that are, like, into the idea of creating their illusion, but not their authentic self. Oh, and I want to go back into dating. I think for me, like, I really, really dated, like, this year heavier than, I didn't tell nobody I was dating, but I was dating.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about me, too. I date in secret. I don't like everybody to know who I'm, like, sleeping with or screwing or not screwing, because it's none of your business. And, like, it's... and because I rather just date because it's a dating process. I'm dating. I'm not hooking up. People think because you're dating, you're automatically hooking up. No. And by the way, I'm still a virgin at 24. Holler!
Yeah.
Because, I don't want to be a hoe. Well, pause. I shouldn't even say that. I thought I don't want to be a hoe out here. That's not true. But I don't want to... give it to the wrong person,
I think that's smart.
Because falling in love and, like I said, seeing my mom, she was a young single mother at, like, 17, trying to raise me, and I saw how hard it was. So I was just like, I'm not going down her path at all, period. And my dad, he has all these kids that he cannot, that he honestly cannot raise because he wasn't there for them. But overall, dating is a cesspool of experience and learning, and you have to constantly grow in yourself. And that's what I could say. And, me dating, like, these different people, it's taught me about myself. And this one person I'm talking to, who shall remain nameless, I think I like the person, but I am not sure. And I believe that person is really amazing. So, yeah. Shout out to A Mother's Garden for allowing me to come on the show. I am Jermaine Greaves, Love Life 45, TrippyInkNYC.com, and Jermaine Says on Instagram, and Jermaine Greaves on Facebook. Thank you for having me, and this was sensational. Hello?
Yeah. So you're going to be able to find this interview and the earlier parts of our interview on A Crazy Dream.
I'm excited! There's so much that people don't know about me. I said a lot to you. You were like my therapist. I said a lot. I really did. I didn't even open up to like my people like that. Oh, thank you so much, A Mother's Garden, and to everybody listening, support her movement. She's a dope person. She actually lets you talk through the whole interview, and she's cool. So and just I'm so thankful this whole interview happened. This is like awesome. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Shouts out to everybody that is like listening and gonna listen and really gonna get a sense of my mind. It is awesome. Thank you again so much, Tamika. This is the best interview I've ever had in like a while. And I divulged into my backstory a lot. There's so much you learned about me, like what school I went to, like what college. But I need to tell you because others need to know.
I love that. So let me know what I'm going to do is I want you to listen to the interviews. Right? And let me know, like, if you feel comfortable releasing it. I'm okay with it. I don't feel like I mean, if you feel comfortable with everything that you
I say release everything. I say release everything because people will. I'm fully comfortable. This is the best interview I've had in a while.
Yeah.
Because I shared so many layers of myself I've never shared, like dating, verbal abuse, physical abuse, my sexuality a bit, dating, tender relationships. Like those are things I don't share ever. So like,
I really appreciate your openness though, because you know what's crazy? A lot of people are gonna listen to this and probably feel more comfortable even being open about like their sexual choices and just like exploring what they really feel.
Yeah. This is me. You either take it or leave it, and I'm not gonna hide who I am anymore. I chose to be bold this year. Like I didn't really give two shits because you just have to be who you are, and it's unapologetically black. It's unapologetically me. It's unapologetically Jermaine. So I'm unapologetic in who I am. I don't need to apologize for being myself because I'm already myself. So and that's my thing.
Yeah.
There's no need to apologize. I'm just thankful that I have the opportunity to speak, and for people to listen. So I am forever grateful for you, Mother's Garden, Tamika. You're like my best friend in my head right now.
Because
I've never shared that much, on any interview. I'd be like going there, and then I don't want to share anything at all. But I think because of how you made the process so easy, and you're like really communicating with me, and you're also talking me through it, and then it felt like I'm with like one of my friends, so it didn't feel like a regular interview.
Yeah. No, not at all. You know what I love? It's like I feel like a lot of times I get caught up like speaking, and when I do my interviews, I want to like hear you. I want to listen to you. Like I want to learn about you. So this is all about you.
Yeah, you learned a lot about me. Jesus Christ. Yeah. That was the most.
Yeah.
That was the most I did. I told you about 85% of my childhood in like a 1.5 hour interview. Or something like that. That's really crazy. I've never shared that much in my life with anybody. And I think that this interview pushed me to be more open about like that side of my life. So I thank you. Because I have never shared that much. I've never discussed like my verbal abuse, my dad, my growing up seeing my mom, and all of those things I never really discussed. People have asked me to share, but like when you're like, what's your life like? I have to just go like deep. Like, I was born with cerebral palsy, 6 months premature. I lived in Guyana, and, just that. You forced me to say the things that I was afraid to say. So I thank you.
Well, like you said during the interview, it's like when you share, it's like everybody learns, everybody wins. It's like
and I'm so glad I'm so glad I was able to open up about the struggle of event planning more than anything, and just drive home that you have to have an idea and a budget and a brand. So I'm just glad I was able to share that, because people need to hear that. They don't hear that too much. And, I was really passionate in this interview because I want to save people's lives. I want them to know that they are important, and I want them to know that they matter. But also you got to be able to take care of yourself and demand respect. So it's a lot of things, but it's just knowing what your voice is and knowing where you stand. Tamika, I thank you so much. This was a fantastic interview. This made my Wednesday. Wait, Thursday. Hold up. This made my Thursday, and I'm so thankful for you. I feel better. I don't feel sick after this, by the way.
Oh, look at that.
So,
did you know that though, laughing and like elation can help to boost the immune system?
Yeah, I just feel really good. Like I'm happy. Like, oh my God. And I just let out a bunch of stuff. I felt like I was in therapy. I'm like, damn.
So you know what? Tell Goddard to let me back in. That's so funny. But no, I really appreciate you coming on the show. You know what I love though about you sharing? It's like we talked about living authentically, and that's what you're doing, and you're creating your authentic reality, and you're making like your dream your reality. So you don't have to dream about it. You don't have to like long for it. You're working and you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. That's true. You know, when you long for things, you always wish you could do it. But when you actually do it, you know you did it. So I think people, it's really about being your authentic self, being unapologetic. I am working on music, which I didn't tell you, but that's gonna come out soon. It's gonna take like at least a year to work on, but I have enough stories for like 5 years or 7. So I think I'm gonna just put that into my music. Like I said, the goal for this is for me on the interview was to share my life, like what the hell I've had to go through. And, like, I'm so glad I touched on the racism thing, Because everyone thinks, like, because I live, like, in downtown Brooklyn and, like, I had moved from the hood and, like, I had certain experiences growing up that were not typically, like, your hood experiences, that I'm basically, like, a coon, as they say. But I'm really, like, I'm still as black as I've always been black. I just knew that in order, I guess society in a way kind of shaped my thinking and hanging around different cultures and learning people. And I realized everything is not racism, it's classism. Because if everything was racism, then we will all hate each other. That is not the case,
It's layers to. There are layers to even when it comes to classism. When you talk about classification, race still fits into classism. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, so realistically it's still grouping people based on factors other than who they truly are as an individual. Yeah. You're not basing it on that. So it's still from a prejudice, and prejudice is prejudice. So that guy calling you an Oreo, that's because you didn't fit into his understanding of what a black person should be. But black people or people calling you a coon, that's because you don't fit into their perception. So the question is, who's creating these perceptions and your expectations of what you're going to encounter?
Yeah. Like I said before, like the interview ended, social media and the internet has created people who are not themselves. So you have people that have to feel like if somebody is doing that, they have to do it too. Yeah. And that's problematic because you don't have to be that way. Society tells us what to be, but we are who we should be. So. No,
it's true. It's so funny. Like I've always felt like I don't know, I've never really fit in too much. And I was like, that was probably why I like too. Because I feel like not like the other kids. I've definitely never really felt like one of the other kids. And now I don't feel like the other adults. It's so funny.
It's okay. I'm an adult too, and I definitely don't feel like another adult.
Yeah, but you know what?
I don't have to live people's expectations of what they think I should be. I do whatever the hell I want, unapologetically. Yeah. I'm just glad that I'm using my voice now. Because people, prior to me even speaking, and I want to thank not like the other kids and Stereotype Co. Because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even be doing something like this or other people interviewing me because they really want to know my story. It takes time, but when you're at a place where you no longer care what people's opinions are, you grow, And that's
yeah.
It's just growing. It's just figuring out who you really are. I have a friend of mine who's been constantly texting me. I don't know if it's he's trying to he's like, all right, I'm going through a breakup and I want to see you. I'm like, I don't even know you. I don't really know him like that. So it's weird. Yeah, my relationship chronicles, as you can see here. But
and just make sure you're careful too, because there are a lot of cycles out here.
But I don't always use Tinder. I mean, when I had my other phone, I use it all the time. I met some pretty cool people on Tinder. It wasn't weird.
I'm not even talking about Tinder. I'm talking about in the world, period. I've met psychos in person. You don't have to meet the psychos online. Okay? People tell me I'm crazy, but they usually stay around, so.
I'm pretty mellow. I'm mellow. I'm mellow yellow. Like seriously, very mellow. Like very mellow. Like very. That's such a good interview. I really want to thank you. I feel so good after this. I could do anything after this interview. And it's just on my first. I just got my okay. This was I am not mad. So yeah, thank you so much, Tamika. We will definitely keep in touch. Your vibe was so amazing. Like this whole process was so easy. It wasn't challenging. It was just easy breezy.
Yeah, and it's like whenever you go into anything, like I always talk about, like, I realized nervousness, like you have to turn that into like excitement. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And just get excited about it because it's something new. It's another opportunity to learn, expand your knowledge and your experience. You never know. But thank you. I'm gonna work on the videos. They're gonna be on the website. I'm gonna send you a link tonight so you can hear them.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna work on editing them before I release them on YouTube and post the artwork. I'm gonna do the artwork this week, probably this weekend.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
thank you very much. This is awesome. Woo! Closing out 2016 with a bang.
Right? I know it's been a good year.
Yeah, it has. Really not mad. I started this clothing brand with Dave in September. And it's been crazy, the response I'm getting, and, I'm setting up photo shoots now. I'm like a designer now. What?
I love it.
It's just crazy. You allow yourself to experience things, and I'm so grateful for being grateful. That's how I feel. When it's for you, it's for you. That's all I can say. Thank you so much. You have been such a healing for me today. This whole interview, you listening, you digesting some of my thoughts and analyzing it so perfectly. Because I feel like I am the only one kind of going through it, and to hear you say, well, I had this and I had that, it really makes it a relatable touch. You relate to your guest in a way, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. I really enjoy talking to you and just doing the interviews. Period. I love hearing because I know that life is so real, and there's so many of us that go through so much stuff, but we don't sit and talk to each other, and then we don't really even information. It's not always money. Share information. Have exchanges with people. Just enjoy people's energy. If you don't enjoy them, get away from them.
Yeah, it's
that simple. Get away.
I feel great. Thank you. I'm gonna definitely let other people know about what you're doing and swing them your way.
Oh, nice. That would be great. Yeah.
Because you're an amazing interviewer. You're one of the best. I've done multiple interviews, and you're the most relaxed. You're the most listenable interviewer I've talked to in years.
Wow. Thank you.
Cutting off because of time, or if they're in a radio station, they have a time constraint, so you can't go as free as you want. And I felt such freedom being able to talk to you.
Yeah, you make me feel really good right now because this is something I just started, and I was so scared to do it, and I've been waiting to do it for years. And I did my first interview with randomly. I contacted this guy on Twitter. He went to Howard. He was talking about Howard. And I was my parents met at Howard Law School, So we started talking, and it turns out he was the head of this association, the National Association for Black Journalists. And I asked if I could do an interview with him. He's an anchor and stuff. And he said yes. So he's my first interview.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, and it's it's so funny because it's I'm getting really into this, and I went to school for English, but they tried to get me into a free English master's, and I was I don't want to write, and now all I do is I get paid to write, and I write all the time. I'm doing stuff like this. It's so funny, but it's stuff you said, you have to just start somewhere, and then you just keep going from there. I didn't know what I was doing. you know.
Yeah.
But I just flow with it, and I just enjoy like just flowing with it.
I can hear how passionate you are about your guests, which is something you don't hear from a lot of people that do the blog stuff often.
Yeah.
They just kind of get guests on the show to fill in their time slot and just kind of keep it moving. But they're not into the whole process of actually, you know, getting to know the individual. I felt like you really wanted to get to know me, and it wasn't like you were doing it to be cool. Like you really wanted to get to know the person behind the mask, and not just the Instagram, but really who I am.
Yeah.
So that felt good. You know, I felt like I was in a therapy session with a good friend of mine who is going to help me through talking. And as I'm talking, you're filling in parts that are relatable to you. And it felt like, okay, I can have a conversation with this person because I don't feel like I have to be constrained. And then I just kept going and going and going because it was such a freedom. And I was like waiting for you to stop me, and then you just didn't. And I was like, oh my God. You know, that's a freedom in itself.
I love it. I love it.
So thank you. You know, I've done about like 11 interviews so far. So like, you know, it's you have to be stopped, constraints, time. You know, I was expecting that, and it was so different for me to hear somebody that like really just wanted to hear me, and not just a gimmick or not just a label of what they thought I was, but who I really was.
Yeah.
And that was awesome.
Yeah, you know what also made me interested in like speaking to you is because my grandma and grandpa are the ones who got me into like entrepreneurship, because we used to go there in the summers, my brother and I, and we would work in the store in Buffalo, and I would count out penny candies and do stock, and we would go to the candy wholesaler and pick out candies, and it was like Willy Wonka in there. I was like, I love candy and Bachman chips. Oh my God. I love Tootsie Rolls. So it's like, as a little munchkin, I used to say that I was going to be an entrepreneur, and I couldn't say the word, but I used to carry out Monopoly money and cash registers. That's why I was like, I really loved it.
That's why I said, that's why I said I credit my mom for what she was doing. And even before you walk into your purpose, it's like there, before you even know what to call it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the beautiful thing about life in general. Your purpose is already there, but you don't know what its name is yet until it has a name.
Mhm.
That's the funny thing about life. Like, we've been walking into our purpose since we were basically kids. We just didn't know what it was. We had to experience to find out. So it's kind of interesting, you know, as you become an adult and you, like, grow into adulthood. You're like, I always had this. I just didn't know what to call it. So just because, you know, and the thing about me is there's a confidence, there's a sureness. I am sure about who I am. I am on a journey of self-growth and discovery. And I am loved by multiple people from continents, too. So it's a little weird, you know? And people love me in all kinds of interesting ways. But it has to be authentic love.
Yeah, and you know what the most important love is, though, too? Like loving yourself. You know what I mean? Like, really embracing yourself. And because when you embrace yourself, and really embrace yourself in a holistic way, like who you are, like embrace yourself, like what you've done in life, and look at life as like, well, like what can I like really create and build, and like what can I contribute and like help to create a space for.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's like awesome. Like you said earlier, people think about houses and cars and clothes and jewelry, and it's like, no, there's like some real stuff you could really do. You know, like we have to utilize our skills, you know, our natural skills.
We have skills, but we have to put taxes to it as well and let people know. Like I said, boundary is everything. I repeated boundary so many times in this interview because it's literally everything. Like, if you don't create a boundary, you're, like, screwed forever. So that's a big thing for me. You know, boundary is everything for me. So I always want to create a boundary of, like, this is how far you can go with me. And, you know, although with this interview I was, like, extremely free. I never felt that way in my life. Like, thank you so much. I got to eat, though, and thank you so much. You know?
Nice. Yeah.
That would definitely make you feel good. I have never felt something in my life. I did a counseling too, and I've never been able to talk to somebody so freely as I have you. And that's weird because that doesn't happen like every day. There's people I just cannot say certain things because they don't have the patience to listen. You listen to everything and divulge it so well. Like, what? I almost had to stop and say, wow. Yeah, universe, what are you doing? You know, the universe is very interesting. Like, people walk into your path just so you can learn more about yourself. And I definitely did learn more. I learned about freedom today because you allowed me to express myself so freely that I felt like I had no boundary to what I could say. It was limitless. Which was amazing. So you keep up the great work. You are doing a fantastic job. I will definitely send people your way. You know, you're doing great. You're doing wonders, and you keep it up. You're doing a great job as an interviewer, as a listener, and just as somebody who understands people.
Oh, thank you.
I thank you for what you do. I am so hungry. We will talk again very soon, and you have a great one, okay?
You too. Enjoy your food.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Dear pesky blackheads, you disgust me. You're ugly, dirty, and just plain nasty. Enough is enough. Meet my Biore Deep Cleansing Charcoal Pore Strip. This strip, with natural charcoal, will pluck you out. Oil too. Sayonara, blackheads. See ya on the Biore strip side. Sincerely, finally clean pores.
Love charcoal? Also try Biore Baking Soda Cleansing Scrub for an exfoliating deep clean. Biore, free your pores.